Welcome to the Conscience of Kansas radio show with Paul A. Ibbotson. A no-nonsense conservative talk show that looks at the local, state, and national issues that affect the people of Kansas. And now, here's Paul A. Ibbotson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, the Conscience of Kansas radio program, we bring on the biggest names in the nation, and we usually talk about a lot of very important issues. Sometimes they're contentious, and we're so appreciative of all of our guests. And today, we sort of have a unique combination. Not only do we have a big-name guest, and we have an important subject, but we also have a subject that's just really fun to talk about. And what I'm talking about is our guest today is Myrna Sokoloff. She is the executive producer and co-writer of this upcoming movie called An American Carol, which is coming out on October 3rd. And Myrna Sokoloff, we'd like to welcome you to the Conscience of Kansas radio program.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, you're very welcome. You know, we're very psyched up about this new show coming out. And tell us, if you could, and our listeners, a little bit more about you and how you got involved with this movie, An American Carol.
Well, my partner, David Zucker, who a lot of you know from, he was the director and writer of Airplane and the Naked Gun movies, and I'm sure for your student body, in Kansas State University, they saw Scary Movie 3 and 4.
Oh, yeah.
So he and I are both 9/11 Republicans. We used to be Democrats, and we increasingly got disenchanted. And in L.A., where it's mostly very liberal, we had no one to talk to. So we both joined the Republican Jewish Coalition, and we were introduced there. And we made an ad in 2004, an anti-Kerry ad, because we wanted to help the president. And it was funny.
Yes.
It's called Indecision.
I've seen it. I have
you
seen
saw
it.
Oh, good. And it played all over the country, and people really loved the comedy. And then we thought maybe we could write a whole movie with our political views and our values, and people would laugh, and they would get our message. So that's when we started writing it. We also made 3 more ads, a Madeleine Albright ad, Taxman, and an Iraq Study Group ad, all funny.
Wow.
You can actually see them on YouTube. If you put in search David Zucker, all those ads will come up, so you know everybody can look at them now and laugh. But we decided to do this, and it is out of the norm of Hollywood because there's probably 10 or 20% of us conservatives in Hollywood.
Well, that's very interesting. You know, this movie is star-studded. It has a wonderful cast. People like Kevin Farley, Kelsey Grammer, Leslie Nielsen, Tracy Adkins, Dennis Hopper, James Wood, John Voight, and on and on and on. How did you manage to go about getting these actors? Was it hard to get these big-name actors to come on to do a movie such as this?
Well, except for Leslie Nielsen, all those actors you mentioned are conservative.
Oh,
and
excellent.
When they heard we were doing this, when David would call them, they said yes. Leslie Nielsen is a liberal, but he's been in so many of David's movies, and David asked him to do it, and he thought it was funny, and he's great in it. He's very funny.
Well, you know, the trailers are just excellent, and folks can see some of the trailers and some of the interesting things, not only at our master website of Superior Conservative Values at www.ibbotsonusa.com, but American Carol has several interesting websites. You can get little bits and pieces about this movie, and they include www.movealong.org, and that's MOOVE along.org, and www.myamericancarol.com and www.americancarol.com, and these trailers have got us so excited. And I tell you what, I think that I am like most people in this country. Now, I have this belief that the majority of this country carries conservative values. I don't always believe that the majority of people are political animals or live in politics, but that they will enjoy a movie like this. And I know so many folks have come up to me and asked, when's this movie coming out and what's happening with it? And it's been on my mind. Even last night, Myrna. I was on the telephone at midnight. I was doing an interview in Australia on one of my books, and I'm talking about myself and my books, two of the subjects I love the most. And I found myself trailing off to An American Carol, thinking, what is going to happen to this Michael Malone? Is he going to die? I'm going to say, I wonder what Myrna's doing right now. I swear that thought came to my mind as well. And so that is what a lot of people are. And I feel like, that movie is just about to come out. And you and I are like standing on the pier with a giant ship, and we're going to break that champagne bottle off together and watch it go out for these adventures.
That's right. Absolutely. For your listeners who don't know, it is a satire, and it's a takeoff on Christmas Carol. But it's not the night before Christmas. It's the night before 4th of July.
Wow.
And our Scrooge character is a very famous, controversial documentary filmmaker who trashes America all over the world. And so he is visited one night by his hero, JFK, who comes out of the TV and tells him he got it all wrong.
Wow.
And that he's going to be visited by these three spirits. And Kelsey Grammer plays General George Patton. John Voight plays George Washington.
Wow.
And Trace Atkins, a great country singer with a great deep voice, plays the Angel of Death.